Sudah.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6. Here we would like to present about the grammar of experiential meaning, transitivity. First, we would like to introduce ourselves.
My name is Zahra Amira.
My name is Devi Azlina Nur Aska.
And okay, my name is Zufara Fahrudin Suyuti.
My name is Rafa Sadika HP.
Okay, and here we would like to start our presentation. Please enjoy.
My voice? You want?
Yes.
Okay, nah, this is simultaneous meanings in text and clauses. We have seen from chapter 6 that in order to sustain a dialogue successfully, participants must keep negotiating. They must keep exchanging commodities, playing the roles of demander or giver, initiator or responder, as they either argue about information or transfer goods and services. As they interact, the mood and modality choices participants make express interpersonal meanings which indicate the role relationships between them. As you read this excerpt through, consider what other kinds of choices these participants are making in order to be able to achieve that exchange of interpersonal meanings. Next. With the benefit of chapter 6, it is possible to suggest how interactants here are creating and clarifying their role relationships with each other. We see the continuation of the teasing relationship between the male participants with George questioning, "Have you ever given blood, Stephen?" only to criticize, "No, you wouldn't." We see also Diana assuming the role of entertainer performer or performer as she produces an extended sequence of declarative clauses in telling the story about Geneva. These dimensions of the roles being played by the interactors can be made explicit through a mood analysis of the clauses of the text. At the same time as indicating and clarifying their relationship with each other, the participants in this interaction are talking about something. In fact, it would not be possible for them to create relationships without talking about something. Their talk has content. It makes representational or experiential meanings. We need to recognize what in order to take part in text, participants must make not only interpersonal meanings but also experiential meanings. We must also recognize that these types of meanings are being made simultaneously. The simultaneous encoding of experiential and interpersonal meanings is achieved through the simultaneous structuring of the clauses which together are making up the text. Next.
So next is the meta function. The role of subject was used to demonstrate that each clause expresses not just one kind of meaning, but in fact three. To capture these different types of meaning, we differentiated between the three roles of subject, theme, and actor. Next. This is the mood constituents. It is an example of Diana, but chords in Switzerland, they give you a comment. This analysis shows that the clause is structured as a non-elliptical declarative directed at one particular interaction with the arguability centered on the interaction of giving, the mode component of the clause. Next. The clause is not just a giving of information. It is a giving of information about something. It is, for example, giving the information that in a certain place, Switzerland, some group of people, they perform a fairly concrete action, giving of an object cognate to someone who benefits you. While this structural description allows us to label clause constituent for their content roles, it now obscures the role of constituent in establishing interaction. So this is the other from before is subject, and they in this table is as actor. We need to show both for a constituent such as they is both offering the arguable participants on which the proposition depends, for example, subject, and also representing the participants involved in performing a certain kind of action. The clause is best described then as realizing two strands of meaning simultaneously. So this is when we map just to analysis onto each other, we see in the demonstration of the semantic complexity of language referred to in chapter 5, the clause constituents very often play more than one functional role at a time, as they, as subject and actor. Yes, next. For as well as making meanings about the interaction and the speaker's experience of reality, the clause is also making meanings about how this bit of information relates to other bits of information near it in the conversation. For example, the clause initial but clearly suggests a relationship of contrast between I'm sorry. So, as this example demonstrates, not every constituent is playing a role in each type of meaning. For example, the vocative jurors play an important role in structuring the interaction, but no role in the content meanings being expressed or he is being talked to, not being talked about. Similarly, the conjunction but has no experiential function. It doesn't represent any referential entity, and it is also outside of the mood or residue. It is, however, important in the thematic strand, where it provides the textual link between this message and other messages. Other constituents, for example, to give you a connect, are not differentiated in the thematic strand, but are all assigned the one label of rim. So, however, the example also shows that most clause constituents are playing two and often three different functional roles. Each constituent is thus realizing a maximum of three types of meaning. A meaning about the interaction, an interpersonal meaning, a meaning about reality, an experiential meaning, and a meaning about the message, a textual meaning. There's three types of meaning, the interpersonal, the ideational, with its two components of experiential and logical meaning, and the textual are known as the meta-function, or semantic functions. What we are exploring in the grammatical chapter of this book is how each meta-function is realized through choices from major systems at the lexicogrammatical stratum, with the experiential meta-function realized through sensitivity choice, the interpersonal meta-function through mood choice, and the textual meta-function through theme choices.
Now we will discuss about transitivity system. First, we have to know what is transitivity. it is a system about our experience or how we explain our experience. And transitivity itself is part of ideational metafunction along with cross complex. And here concerning about language, as I described, like the example is doing, saying, buying, or sensing, that activities that happen in the real world. It has three components. There are participant, process, and circumstance. So first, what is material process? So material process is the process of doing something. For example, Diana has donated blood for 34 times. And how you can know this is by identifying them with the identification, what did X do? Like this, what did X do is Diana donate blood 34 times. And the material process includes actor or participant, and there is classification based on the number of actor or participant. Like one, middle, or intransitive. It means one participant with identification of what did X do, like this example. And the second is effective or transitive. It has two participants or more with identification. What did X do to Y? Effective clause can be passive or active based on the actor role. Role is conflicted with the mood function or not. And here is the example. The active one is they tested my blood against the donor. Here is the actor or the participant, people, ideas, or things participated in the process. And the process, physical activities, mental activities, verbal activities, or whatever is that. And in this chapter, we're talking about material, and this is the goal. But in the passive, you can see that the actor is on the last word of the sentence. My blood was tested against the donor by them. Next is goal versus range. First, a range cannot be a personal pronoun like I, you, we, they, etc. And a range cannot usually be modified by a possessive. Example, just give me your result. And range are less likely to become subject than goals because they are sounds quite odd as subject. A range can often be realized as a prepositional phrase. You can see here. Here is the range and here is the goal. I'm playing bridge, the range. It sounds odd as a subject. Well, I'm playing Simon at bridge is makes sense. Here is more example, range versus goal. Here is the thing that when you are talking about goal, you can say the goal without any verb before them. Like shoot a kangaroo, you can just say kangaroo, or kick a dog, serve ball. But in range, you cannot just say gun because it has no context. Next, circumstances. It can occur not only with material processes, but with all processes type. They are presented here for convenience. So circumstance can be identified by considering what verb is used in elictum. The first circumstances is extent, like how long. It means duration, how far. It means spatial distance. And for example, I stayed up all night. It is how long, means the duration. And the location, when, is temporal, where, spatial. And the example is I delivered it to the clinic where she was. It means where. So the circumstances is spatial. And the manner, how, with what. It means meaning, how, blah, 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 lee. For example, in Switzerland, unlike Greece, they gave you a cognate, but it means that circumstance is with what, how. The next is cause. Why, what for, is for reason, who for, or behalf. For example, my daughter survived thanks to the Swiss man. And a complement, with whom. For example, she got on the planes with or without her boyfriend. The matter is what about. For example, as for Chris, they give you nothing. And role, what us? She was traveling to Israel as a tourist. The next is mental process. So mental process is encoding meaning of thinking or feeling. For example, I hate injection. The hate here is mental process. And how you identify it is by using this identification. What do you think, feel, or know about X? And the mental process itself divided into three classes. It is cognition, verb of thinking, like knowing, understanding. For example, I don't know her name. It is part of knowing. And affection, verb of liking. For example, fearing. I hate injection is the sentence example. And the perception is verbs of saying, hearing. For example, Simon read it on the news. Next, difference between mental material. Choice of unmarked present tense. In a mental process, the unmarked present tense is simple present while the mental process occurs in the present continuous. Like, she believes his excuse is right and it makes sense. And it is common, while she was believing his excuse is not common and incorrect. Number 2 is number of participants. When mental process could have either one or two participants, well, the material process could have either one or two. Mental process must have two participants. And nature of active participant. One participant in a mental process clause must be a conscious participant. This participant is called the sensor, and the sensor can be human or non-human, but it must be a conscious being. For example, like the first sentence, I hate injections. Next is behavioral process. Behavioral process are process of psychological behavior like dreaming, breathing, snoring, smiling, hiccuping, looking, watching, etc. So some behavioral in fact contrast with the mental process synonyms. For example, look is behavior, but sin is mental. And the group of process is intermediate between material and mental process, and have only one participant, which what is called as behavior. For example, she coughed loudly. It is she here is behavior, cold is behavioral, and loudly is manner, circumstances. And the verbal process is the process of saying or process of verbal action. For example, my recipe says, right when says here is verbal process. Component of verbal process are a sayer, the one who is responsible for verbal process, receiver, the one whom saying is directed, verbiage, content of what is said or name of saying, target, entity that, I'm sorry, it is not a target but target, entity that it is targeted by the process of saying. Also, there are direct and indirect speech, like the example here. You must study this because it occur in many journal or something like that. Sorry. Like here, the example is I said, can you avoid the scar tissue? Is direct speech, and indirect speech is I asked them to avoid scar tissue.
All right, next is from action to being, existential and relational processes. First, existential processes, it represents experience by positioning that there was or there is something. There is the only obligatory participant in this process. That is what's so called as existent. Existential processes typically employ the verb be or synonyms such as exist, arise, and occur. The structural there in an existential process does not receive any functional label as it is not encoding any representational meaning. For example, there are is a existential process. Many palm trees is existent, and around my house is circumstantial element or location. Second is relational processes. It can also called as a process of being. There are three type of relational processes operation. There are intensive, circumstantial, and possessive. While each type includes two distinct modes, there are attribute, and identifying. Next. First is intensive attributive processes. It involves establishing a relationship between two terms where the relationship is expressed by the verb be or a synonym. Carrier and attribute is a participant in these processes. The meaning of an attributive intensive is that X is a member of the class A. For example, the daisy is a carrier, is a intensive process, a beautiful flower as an attribute. The verb that include in intensive attributive are become, turn, grow, turn out, stir up, end up, keep, stay, remain, seem, sound, appear, look, taste, smell, feel, and stand. Next, please. Next is intensive identifying processes. It is not about ascribing or classifying, but defining. Token plus value is a participant in these processes. The meaning of an identifying intensive is that X serve to define the identity of Y. For example, a red light, it is token, signifies, it is intensive process, and stop, it is value. The verb that include in intensive identifying are equal, add up to, make, signify, mean, define, spell, indicate, express, suggest, act as, realize, play, represent, stand for, refer to, and exemplify. Next. Other common subtype of relational. First is circumstantial. It encodes meaning about the circumstantial dimension discussed earlier, location, manner, cause, etc. Circumstance then can be expressed in a clause either as a circumstantial constituent in a material, mental, behavioral, or verbal process, or through a relational process. For example, the bomb, it is carrier, was, it is a intensive process. In her luggage, it is a circumstantial location. Next, the operation, it is carrier. Last date, it is circumstantial process. 1 hour, it is attributive. Next, yesterday, it is token or circumstantial time. Was, it is intensive process. The last time he gave blood, it is value or circumstantial time. Next. Next is possessives. It encodes meaning of ownership and possession between causal participants. For example, this, it is carrier, is, it is intensive process, your, it is processor or attribute. You, it is carrier, have, it is possessive process, 8 pins of blood, it is attribute or possessed. Next, her boyfriend, it is token or processor, own, it is possessive process, and the bag, it is value or possessed. Next. Next is causative relational. It may occur with either attributive or identifying structure with causation expressed either through a make plus be, process intensive structure, or with identifying relational through a causative process. As with the causative material process we considered earlier, causative involve a an agent in making or causing something. As we As with the causative material process we considered earlier, causative involves an agent in making or causing something. With attributive relational, an agent, or also called an attributor, causes the carrier to have an attributive ascribed. For example, the experience in Geneva, it is agent or attributor. Made, it is causative process. Diana, it is carrier. Become, it is intensive process. A blood donor, it is attribute. With the identifying type, the agent or assigner makes the token take a value. They, it is agent or assigner. Made, it is causative process. Simon, it is token. The Harman, it is value. For the night, it is circumstantial or extent. Next.
Okay, now we are going to talk about the meaning of transitivity. This chapter so far has reviewed the functional grammatical description of the transitivity structure of English clauses. Clauses can be seen to select for a process type, material, mental, behavioral, verbal, existential, and relational. The process type specifies the action, events, or relationships between implicated participants, nominal constituents, functionally labeled according to the process type, and the processes may be situated circumstantially for time, place, cause, and many other. Carrying out a transitivity analysis involves determining the process type, participants, and circumstances realized in any clause. Transitivity analysis offers a description of one of the structural strengths of the clause. Each clause can also be analyzed for its mood structure. Next, please. It was stated at the beginning of this chapter that transitivity patterns represent the encoding of experiential meanings, or meanings about the world, about experience, about how we perceive and experience what is going on. By examining the transitivity patterns in text, we can explain how the field of the situation is being constructed. We can describe what is being talked about and how shifts in the field are archived. Next, please. Now we will move to a little summary regarding the subject. This brief discussion of the controversial excerpt illustrates how transitivity patterns are the closer realization of contextual choices in selecting which process type to use and what configuration of participants to express. Participants are actively choosing to represent experience in a particular way. We explore this construction of field again in the final chapter, when we consider transitivity patterns in the three crying baby texts presented in chapter 1. Next, please. The experiential structure of the clause is just one of two components through which ideational meanings are expressed through language. In the next chapter, we look at how the logico-semantic systems of the clause complex provide options that allow text creators to link individual clauses of experiential meaning together into ideationally coherent text. Okay, I guess that is all from us. We sure hope that would be useful for all of you. Thank you very much for paying attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.